Here with Kent coach Matt Walker. I've got to ask your immediate reaction after that. What was that like to watch the final hour, listen to it on a stream somewhere and not know whether you were safe or not?
It wasn't great. It wasn't great 2 hours of our lives, I don't think, watching that unfold. Yeah, it's out of your control, isn't it? It's completely out of your hands. It's the worst part of the job. Nothing you can do about it, apart from sit and watch and keep your fingers crossed. Yeah, we gave it a real good go this week. We thought we'd have to win this game. Well, we thought we'd have to win at least one of these 3 games. As it turned out, we haven't had to win any. But 2 really good performances, which gave us enough points to get our noses ahead going into this week. And we knew when we matched their bonus points a couple of days ago that certainly made it more difficult for Middlesex. They had to go and win the game, and fair play to them. I think a lot of credit. They gave it a real go, and may have deserved a bit better, but. Glad of that back end resistance from Notts, and we saw it last week, a couple of weeks ago against us, which was from Brett Hutton, which was painful at the time. But glad he continued that little bit of form in that innings, and I suppose relief is the overwhelming emotion. I suppose it's hard to get, hard to be too jubilant. We've just hung on and stayed up, but from where we were a few weeks ago, that was the job to do, and we've done it. And we can breathe easy now and go away and have some time off, reflect on the season as we usually do, and know that we've got Division 1 cricket next year.
Some cheers for the players, obviously, and then cheers of relief, I suppose, when that final run was hit. What was your overriding emotion? You said relief, but for them as well?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think when you do everything you can, and that's the message this week. It was. Try and keep eyes off that game as much as you can. I know it's hard, but the focus was totally on our game. And I think we knew just leading into tea that it was going to be very difficult for us to win this game. That partnership just became too many, really, and we certainly didn't want to go and lose the game if we had that sort of horrible little run chase which we found ourselves in against whoever it was a few weeks ago. I can't remember now, and nearly sort of blew it there. But I think. We knew that was a draw here. We knew pretty much we resigned ourselves, and then all you can do is just hope. So I think the lads, there was some, of course everyone was very nervous in the dressing room, and from where they were, not looking like they were sailing at tea, 9 wickets left, needed just over 100. But you just know, last day drama happened last year, obviously up at Edgbaston and what they did, and I think. You just never know. You just never know until that final ball's bowled what's going to happen. But it doesn't matter how they did it. They managed to get across the line, which is very thankful for Notts for putting in that performance at the end. But I think generally it's just relief, and I think now a few smiles around the dressing room. And look, it's not. We'd have liked to have done it. A bit better than this, like to have sort of gone into this last game, needing a couple of points for survival and doing it with control, but having to rely on somebody else was always going to probably be the case. Lancs don't roll over and die very easily, and they put up a big fight in that second innings. And but the hard work was done in days 1, 2, and 3. So we did that bit, and then had to keep our fingers crossed.
When you reflect across the season, I know it's early to do that now, but do you think at this point that you think about the strength of the performances that have kept you up, or do you think we should never have been in that position? What are your feelings?
My feelings are that this division is a very good division. I think it's the best it's been, actually. I think the strong sides have become a lot stronger. And you go into the season with all sorts of hope and expectation, and wanting to win the championship. I think realistically that's become harder and harder for sides like us to do. We finished 8th best side in the country, which actually is a pretty good achievement actually for a side like us. We would love to have been higher, of course we would. We'd love to have played better this season. We've had our issues, we know that, and don't need to go into that now. And that's cricket, that happens. Everyone has to deal with those sort of things. And we know we can play better. We know for a lot of this season we've let situations slip. We haven't been able to take 20 wickets consistently, which, if you want to win games of cricket, that is absolutely where you need to be. You need to have that threat. We haven't had that, and that's down to a bit of injuries. well, a lot of injuries, etc. But we haven't batted well enough when the opportunity has arisen. But then, there's been some really big positives. The emergence of Toanda and Finchy, and I think some of those games we gave Sussex a great run for their money in both games. And certainly one game we look back on and thinking we should have won that game. But this is the strength of the division. There are some really good sides. Next year we're going to have to regroup. We're going to have to be prepared even better than we have been this year. Hope for a bit of luck with things going your way, with injuries. Try and build that squad to be as fit and strong as possible. I think I like to think if we had our full strength side more often than not, we can compete with these sides. We may not beat them, but we certainly can compete with them, and certainly give those guys a bit of run for the money. And on our day, we'll beat these sides for sure. But our depth has been really exposed this year, and that's nothing on them. They're really young cricketers who haven't played very much cricket. What do you expect? I've had this conversation with you a few times, and you want them to learn on the job, and that's a big ask for some of them. And some of their roles have changed because of the situation we found ourselves in, bowling more overs or bowling in different areas of the game, which not necessarily suits those cricketers. But look, it's another year done, and hopefully a lot learned and a lot of experiences learned from these guys, and that's all you ask for.